Hey everybody, it's me, JTJ, coming back to you with another King of the Hill review. Today's episode is Square Peg. By the way, I don't think I ever gave a rating for the last episode, so I'm just gonna be straight up honest and tell you my rating for it. I give that one a solid 5. A little slow pace, Still a fun show to watch. It has its great moments, its bad moments. But I'm going to keep doing reviews on this series anyway. But today's episode we're doing is Square Peg. And today I'm going to start off by... I'm not going to talk about the main cast again because you can watch my other video for that part. Because if you're a true fan, you know who the main cast is. Just saying. The main cast doesn't really change. Even freaking Stephen Root, he stayed through the series the entire time. So did Johnny Hardwick. But I digress. So let's get into it. The director of this episode, Gary McCarver. I hope I pronounced his name right. It was a little hard to figure out, but it's McCarver, as far as I know. Supervising director is Leslie Archer. Once again, we get Leslie Archer to do an episode. And to get into other writers, the creators of the show who were mentioned as a credit, but I think it's mainly because they're the creators, Mike Judge and Greg Daniel. And this episode was specifically written by Joe Stillman. And it was also staff written by Jim Dotrieve and Johnny Hardwick. And there's not really a guest star for this episode, except for, I guess it's debatable. But this actress named Mary Scheer, she was the mother of Freddie from iCarly. I only know that because I looked it up on IMDb in case she actually was famous for something more than that. She was in a lot of one-parters on shows and all that. She's not really someone I consider that big. But I digress. So let's get into this episode. It's about... I want to be careful what I say in this episode. By the way, I think she voiced one of Peggy's friends. Maybe one of the kids in Bobby's class as well. I'm not sure. Just thought I would state that right quick. I'm going to be careful how I talk about this episode because I don't know if it's still a sensitive issue or if it's still kind of political. But this main episode is about sex ed. And it's about Peggy trying to figure out how to teach sex ed because it's a sensitive subject for her because her mother never told her about where babies come from and all that. And Hank Hill, to quote him in this episode, his dad took him to a farm to watch a bull get it on with another cow. And he also says that's how he also taught me about taxes, which is a joke if you ever did taxes. Just saying. That's not me being political. That's me just being, truthful. Anyway, let's get into this episode. Peggy is trying to learn how to say penis and vagina and wound and a bunch of other words that are very hard to say. Well, Hank is very uncomfortable with the fact that his wife is teaching sex ed. Now, this episode I find very humorous because I remember as a kid, my dad was trying to tell me about the birds and the bees, and I was just like, stop, I don't want to hear this. I already know how sex works, blah, 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 stop. I'm probably with Hank Hill on this episode. Yeah, but we get further into this episode, and there's a joke about Sigmund Freud, where Hank is trying to cut off the branches of a tree, and then it begins to look like a penis, and then he's like, oh no! And he's trying to cut down the tree like Paul Bunyan with his trimmer, whatever you would call that thing. I'm not gonna lie, I feel bad for the tree because what did the tree do other than look like a penis? I mean, there's a lot of people out there that look like penises. Should we cut them in half? Or cut them down? Maybe. Just kidding. There's also people that are penises, so should we cut them down too? You know what? I'm going to stop talking about this now. Yeah, so we get to the conclusion of the episode where Peggy finally learns how to say penis, and then she screams out vagina, and then it gets all funny from there. This episode is not one of my favorites. I do enjoy it. It's pretty humorous. It's very Mike Judge-esque. My rating for it, I would have to give it a 6.4. That's my rating for it. But yeah, I'm gonna try my best to get you guys another review today, by the end of the day, or before the day's over. If I don't, I will do 2 more reviews tomorrow. But till then, stay tight.